Welcome everybody to today's webinar. We're going to focus on Dragon Medical One and how you can boost productivity with Dragon Medical. So some of you in attendance have been using Dragon Medical in prior editions for some time, and I'm sure that everyone listening who is using Dragon knows it's a fantastic product. The latest and greatest, Dragon Medical One, steps up the bar, improves speed, all kinds of reasons to move from prior Dragon Medical Practice Edition or earlier versions to Dragon Medical One. Today's focus will be to demonstrate how Dragon Medical One is used in a clinical setting and what are some reasons why somebody who is using Dragon with the prior version might want to change. And for those of you who are new to Dragon and haven't seen this in live use, you're in for a treat. This, in my opinion, as the CEO of a tech company, is the best clinical product on the market, period. Hardware, software, Dragon Medical One is fantastic. So we're going to focus on what's new in Dragon Medical One, spend most of our time demonstrating, talk a little bit about training, and then summarize costs. So thanks for joining. For those of you who aren't familiar, Nuance is the manufacturer of Dragon Medical, and they have developed there's really no second place product. Over 500,000 physicians and clinicians in the US alone use Dragon Medical, and then a bunch more worldwide. So this is the only game in town truly for high quality clinical voice recognition. PBSI's role is we are a reseller and a training resource, training center for Nuance. So we are the largest in Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana reseller and training center for Dragon Medical. We have hundreds of clients where we've trained using virtually every different EHR, and a whole ton who use Dragon Medical dictating clinically in Word or some other non-EHR environment. Our focus is to help clients implement and use effectively Dragon Medical so that you're really getting value out of the product that you've purchased. So what's different with Dragon Medical One? This is a cloud version, and for the first time, it's subscription-based. So as the CEO of an organization, I don't like to pay subscriptions. Most of us feel the same way, or many of us do. But the fact is, Nuance has really done an excellent job in pricing this product effectively and including some features that are really well worth the cost. So for most clients, I'll come back to this, but the cost is $79 a month ongoing for Dragon Medical One, and that includes some features and a microphone that weren't previously included. But the key things are the cloud version, Dragon Medical One, is 30% more accurate than previous versions, and it's also faster. Now they are on a schedule, by they I mean Nuance, of quarterly feature updates, and we actually see useful improvements being made each quarter. Personally, I'm, as CEO, on the National Bar Advisory Board for Nuance and get some information about what's coming, and we've seen into the future of what they're doing with Dragon Medical One, and this is really where anybody wants to head who's dictating clinical information. One of the things that this includes that the boxed version does not is PowerMic Mobile. That's what I'm going to be using today as my microphone. It's using your iPhone or your Android as a microphone wirelessly and with high quality. So the difficulties that have been arisen with boxed version of Dragon Medical largely center around voice profiles, either corruption or unavailability, and those issues have been completely solved with Dragon Medical One, so reliability really is better. And Dragon Medical One, commonly abbreviated as DMO, I'll refer to it as DMO. So it's lower upfront cost. There are features like clinical calculators, which in various specialties prompt calculation templates within an EHR, or they do things that are really very specialty specific in calculating scores for, whether in OB practice or pediatric practice, or a lot of specialties where there are calculators and you're giving it clinical data and it comes up with a scoring result. I'll quickly demonstrate that for you. And then the more complex an installation, the more it makes sense to use DMO because it installs more quickly. You can use it from multiple locations and devices more easily. And there are other benefits in terms of simplicity, automatically switching between microphones, for example. So that's just some difference. But what I'm going to do now is demonstrate Dragon Medical and show you exactly how it works. And if you're using previous versions of Dragon Medical, you'll see that this is very similar, just faster and better. And there are some features. So one feature that I'm using today is this PowerMic Mobile. So this is a picture of an iPhone, and what happens is when I connect my iPhone, Dragon Medical presents itself as this icon. So this is me logged into Dragon Medical. The color of my microphone is tan, whatever that color is. When I connect with my iPhone, that'll turn red, meaning yes, I have a microphone connected, but it's not listening to me. And then when I press my on button for it to start listening, that'll turn green. So it's takes up less space and is very useful, so you know your status. So the same features that are available in a PowerMic, which if you're an existing Dragon Medical user, you probably use a microphone like this, either a PowerMic III or PowerMic II. They're both identically the same functionality-wise. And this ultimately is the microphone we recommend for high-use providers because it's very convenient with a button to turn it on and off and next field, previous field. In those regards, it's the same as an iPhone, but the more you use it, you get interrupted by texts or phone calls, and your iPhone or Android tend to be less efficient in the long term, but both work wonderfully well. I'm going to be using my iPhone, and the features I'm going to be demonstrating are the use of templates, how to edit text, how to use some other functionality, and then how can I save and create new templates on the fly. So I'm going to be going back and forth between this PowerPoint slide and Microsoft Word, where I'll be demonstrating. What Dragon Medical does is it produces text at the cursor. There's more than one way to use it. But now I'm going to pick up my iPhone. I'm going to push the button for PowerMic Mobile, tell it to log in. It knows my password, remembers it, and now it's connected. So now it see this red microphone. When I start speaking, or just before I start speaking, I'll press the on button, and here's how it works. Patient is a 27-year-old male presenting today for lower back pain, period. New paragraph. New paragraph. Normal exam. Select regular rate and rhythm. Unusual results from today's test. All caps that. Go to bottom. Okay, so what just happened? I spoke some text and Dragon recognized, let's say I forgot something here and I could say, go to back pain, it would position the cursor here, but I want to add some text here, so I'm going to do that now. Patient's BP is 210 over 160, and I'm really concerned about medication dosage, especially Hyzar oral in combination with Lipitor 20 milligrams BID, period. Okay, so you see a bunch of things. The more you see Dragon Medical work, the more you realize that it's recognizing clinical dictation, it's providing proper spelling, capitalization, abbreviation, and BID, there's a setting you can make it say twice daily or keep it BID. So these are things that are just out of the box true with Dragon Medical. It's wonderful at recognizing clinical text. So then I also used a template. I said normal exam, and what happened was Dragon Medical is always evaluating what I'm doing as a speaker, and its first question has to be, the speaker's producing some text now. Is this the name of a template or auto text, or is this the name of just text, or is it the name of a command like go to bottom or all caps that? And so that's why you don't see it display text until after I've spoken for a while, because it needs to decide, is this a command name? So I'll give you an example of that. Patient presents today with normal exam, period. New paragraph. Normal exam. So the words normal exam are understood in context, and this is the way Dragon Medical works. It's just fantastic. And the reason it leads to such efficiency and why there's such a high utilization rate among providers in the US is that it behaves as you expect time and time again. This is not a product that generates frustration. It works beautifully. Okay, so a couple of things that I've shown you. Now, most people, by the way, most clients are using an EHR, and so something like, quote, normal exam might not be your first use. Generally, you're going to click your exam, click your review of systems. It just depends on what EHR and how efficient it is for you to produce a piece of the exam with EHR. But where most people universally use Dragon is the HPI, where you're describing something unique to the patient, or the assessment and plan, where you're describing something unique to the patient, and you want to just be able to talk and tell the story of the patient without needing to use a template. So even in those areas, there may be templated portions where you want to fill in the blanks. So that's where a template comes in that has next field ability, and I'm going to just give you an example of that. We'll clear out what we've done today. And again, this might not be an example that's appropriate for you and your specialty, but I'm going to use a template right now, my referral letter. So I turn my microphone off, and what Dragon has already done is it's highlighted this left and right bracket. There's another one, there's another one. I'm going to use a button on my iPhone to move from one field to another. So I'll turn my iPhone on and I'll combination speak and move the next field, and you'll see how this works. With difficult breathing conditions that need to be evaluated, period. Normal exam. Objective evaluation is difficult for me to assess since I'm not a physician, period. I'm just playing like I'm a physician, period. No assessment today is possible. No plan today is possible, period. Okay, so this is possibly a ridiculous exam, and I'm not an MD. This is simply an example that might make sense, where I've combined custom words with pre-existing parts of text. And so take this example in any way you can apply to your own dictation process. But if all you do with Dragon is just speak when you want to speak and don't use these templates, it's fantastic and a real value. So I'm going to talk about these templates, and template and auto text are synonymous. So this idea, when we're using templates, okay, I see the value of having templates out there, but I don't have a transcriptionist anymore. I don't have any clinical admin person who's assisting me in this. So the ability to create new auto texts on the fly and to know what auto texts are there end up being a pretty important feature. So let's say that this text right here is something that I just spoke for the first time, and I realize I'm going to keep this, or maybe I just want this set of text and I want to keep this as a thank you. So when I highlight this text, I'm going to use this command called make that an auto text. You'll see what happens when I do that now. Make that an auto text. Thank you for your referral. Okay, so with my voice, I just gave this template a name. Thank you for your referral. And the text that I had selected are all part of that new auto text. So maybe I could shorten this name even to thank you. Now I'll just leave it that way. So, and I'm going to save that. And then now we have an auto text called thank you for your referral. I'm going to just do an example. I appreciate your referral, period. Thank you for your referral, period. New paragraph. Thank you for your referral. So the difference, this time that I spoke those words, it was in context where it followed directly some other speech. So it says these words are just text. But then when I paused before and used the name of my template, then it generated this text. And in that way, you know that you can create new templates, new auto texts on the fly. So now I have these auto texts out there, but I think, what the heck? I know I have one. What the heck is it called? And so I'm going to use a command here called manage auto texts. Manage auto texts. So in alphabetic order now are my auto texts. So I have one called acne trouble, allergy treatment plan, home instructions, and so forth. And these are all, I do this kind of demonstrating with multiple specialties. So you can see how each of these might be very unique to a specialty and to individual providers. So I'm looking down my list alphabetically, and I see there's my normal exam, no consent, normal abdomen, and one called normal consent. So, oh yeah, that's the one I want. Okay, then let's use it. Normal consent. And so therefore, and then I could change some of this if I wanted to. So let me use the select command again to reiterate how to change text, because the select command is so important. If you understand how to use the select command, editing text is simple. There are two main protocols that are important to know. And one is if I want to change text and use my voice, which is absolutely the most efficient, always select at least 2 or 3 words. So I wouldn't try and select the word procedure. If I wanted to change this, I'd select some surrounding words so that Dragon gets exactly to where I want it to go. The more text you give it, the more easily it will find exactly what you're looking for. So that's one, is give it multiple words, and 2, don't just have a short pause between the word select and the text you want to select. Don't say select and then pause and then say the words, like I say select and I look around the screen, what is that I want to fix? By the time I've followed the word select with some other words, it will have already decided, nah, that must not be the select command. So here's how I'm going to do it successfully. Select benefits of the procedure. Unusual, difficult risks of the procedure. So I select some text with my voice and I replace it with my voice in any Windows program. Any text that is selected, if you either type or in Dragon's case start speaking, you will replace the selected elements with your voice. Okay, a couple real key things. So one other thing I'm going to mention is Dragon has gotten so much better with filtering out garbled or imperfect dictation. So I'm going to quote butcher some dictation here. Dragon will do a beautiful job. It's not always perfect, but it's way better than you'd expect. So I'm going to do that now. Patient is here today for an examination, and I need to review the patient's medical history before I see the patient, period. Okay, so that's just an example. It's not always perfect, but I don't know how it does what it does, but certainly you can see that a lot of time and attention has been put into making this really, really effective for dictation. So those are some of the most key features. And for the sake of time, I won't demonstrate clinical calculators, but let me just say that clinical calculator feature, if you are in a specialty where you have a math calculation based on indicators, this clinical calculators feature can be brought up, speak into the template fields, and the clinical calculator will produce the results you're looking for. I'm going to move on to talk about, and this could apply to you regardless of whether you use Dragon Medical. If you're using, DMO, if you're using Dragon Medical now, and maybe you purchase from PBSI or maybe you purchase it somewhere else, we're a great resource for training and improving productivity. So we always strongly recommend training up front. We're not trying to sell training time. I just know that any provider who's using Dragon Medical and they say, it's okay, but I'm having this or that difficulty, my universal reaction is, let's schedule some training, because only rarely is any issue with Dragon because the software has an issue. It's more related to, and a trainer can recognize whether your voice profile might be corrupted or something wrong with it, or there's just some information you need in order to know how to edit text successfully, for example, or other things. So what we find really works is one-on-one online or on-site training where instead of you, the provider, watching somebody like me today demonstrate, we do this in reverse, where you are using Dragon, you're using it live in your EHR. We put a business associate agreement in place before the training, and the trainer's connected to your PC where you're doing the work. And the trainer's directing you through, all right, let's in your EHR, let's actually do some live dictation. And by the time you've done live work using Dragon inside of your own documentation system, you'll find that the trainer is able to really help you learn the key features. And then once they understand your process, then a lot of times we can recommend procedural changes that will be more efficient. Like we can set up templates or commands inside of Dragon to, for example, open up a Word document, give it a certain kind of a name with a command. If the patient name is the first thing you dictate, we can open up a new Word document and just with one command like open Word document Karen Jones, or close this. And that close this might tell Dragon to save the document and to print it to a default printer. So we can help with procedural items as well. So training is really important. What is the cost of DMO? Instead of the previous version was $1,600 one-time purchase plus training. So you would spend something over $2,000 to set up Dragon Medical in previous versions. Now there's a one-time fee that's dictated by Nuance. So we have no vote in what this fee is, but we are doing the work. We PBSI are doing the work, where for $525, we're getting some information from you, we're connecting to your PC, we're installing DMO, we're taking information so that we can set up some initial templates for you, and we're doing an hour of online training. And that's all included in one-time setup fee, and beyond that, it's $79 a month. So this little graphic on the bottom of this screen, if you save 10 minutes a day, that's 5 days a year. So that's a week's worth of work. It's not difficult to do the math because 10 minutes per day would be a very minimal savings. If you're spending more than 15 minutes typing per day, you will save 10 minutes a day with DMO. So very cost effective, and this includes all updates forevermore. So you're never going to pay another upfront fee, and we can arrange access for PBSI support. So these are things that are included in. If you want to also purchase a PowerMic, which we do recommend, then that's available. And then if you want additional online training sessions, they're cost effective to have done for you. So we've helped hundreds of physicians do this, and would love to help you as well. So we're out of time and we're finished with content. I want to thank you for your attendance today. I hope this has been useful. And I'm going to stop recording, but then I'm going to stay on the line to answer questions. So thank you for your attendance.